go.
Hi. Introducing a new application that can be used during your class sessions and online. As you may already know, we have been using Kahoot as an online quiz platform that has been used in the classroom and is a great way and a fun way for students to learn using program software and integrating technology within the classroom. The issues that the purely online context provides is that we're coming up with the issue that students are no longer able to easily play Kahoot at home because some students don't have a laptop or a computer where they can toggle between the two windows necessary to play Kahoot from home. So this new program, well, it's not a new program, but this program will offer a solution to this problem where students will not need to toggle between two browsers, and they can purely participate using just one browser or one screen on their phone. So let's get started. I have, for the purpose of this video, I have 3 different windows open for you to be able to see the different experiences, both teacher side and student side. You can see here in the middle screen here, this will be what you can see. Simply go to any browser and look up the name of the software, and it's called Quizizz. Let me just grab that so you can see. And it's Quizizz. And it functions very similar to Kahoot, but just the student experience is different. So it does provide that solution where students won't need to jump into another window to be able to play. So let's come here and let's just say that you're going to do present simple. You're going to do a quiz on present simple. You're looking up quizzes for present simple. And so what we're doing now, we're looking at how to set up the quiz as a host. And you can see here that there are different options. You can play the game live, which is what you would be doing in the classroom online. You can also assign a quiz for homework. And then you can also practice. So students are able to actually use this platform for their own practice. But of course you can use it in a very similar way to Kahoot and host a game live in the classroom time. So we'll go through both of these functions, play live and assign as homework. We'll firstly look at assign as homework. So here you've got information of the name of the quiz, how many questions, and then you can choose a date that you'd like to assign the quiz for and a time. And to make that quiz, to apply these settings to this quiz, you click host game. There are more settings below, and here you can select some classes, like if, for example, if you've got your class, you can assign the class to that quiz. And there are some additional settings, for example, how many attempts you allow the students to take the whole quiz, short answers in the quiz, show answers post game. If you want a timer to count down in between each question, showing the leaderboard, shuffling questions. So there's a few options down here, and you click host a game. And once you do host a game, here you'll get to this page before you activate the game, and you can share a link to Google Classroom. This is an additional feature on this quiz where you can share this platform and the quiz you're playing on this platform onto the Google Classroom. Click share to Google Classroom, and you'll just need to click share Google Classroom again. Choose your class and click next. And during this process, it's syncing with the classroom. So the quiz that you're assigning will be assigned to the classroom. So you'll get a notification saying this quiz has been assigned to Google Classroom. So I've got another window open here. If we come down to Google Classroom, I'm using the Teachers Meeting and PD Blackboard and class as an example. So if we come in here, we can see that here a test has been created, and it will come as a notification in the stream section, and students will also receive an email to enter the quiz. So once you click onto the quiz, you click instructions, and then there's two links that the students can enter and participate with. There's the mobile link that students can enter with, and there's the web link as well. So there's two options. You can participate through the browser, very similar to Kahoot, and you can also participate through the mobile link. So there's different ways for students to enter the quiz. You can either set it up manually, very much similar to Kahoot, or they can also enter through Google Classroom. So that's an extra additional feature to the with this quiz that just makes it very, very desirable for what we've set up with Google Classroom. So let's do an example. So if we join a game here, this is how it would look with the browser option, and you would enter a game code. So this is how a student would see it if they're entering it via a browser option. I will toggle back to this browser to show you the web link. So if a student clicks on web link, it will redirect them to their Google account, and then they would have to enter in their, well, they should already have their Google account set up on their browser, so they can just enter into there. And this is the students will not see that, and then that will take them to this page where they would start the game. So now on this page, the student would click start, and this is how the game would start. So as you can see that on this game, you'll see that similar to Kahoot, they have to choose which option as the quiz. But the key thing here is that the question is on the same page, so they don't have to switch between browsers, which is the solution to that problem. So they click on whatever, and then they just go through, and then they memes come up as encouragement. The leaderboard comes up afterwards. Next question. Very, very similar to Kahoot in this way. So you'll just go through this quiz. We'll do this together so you can have a look. So there's a few different features to Kahoot, and there's it gives you options of power play, eraser options, double your points, just to make the game a little bit more interesting. So hopefully it will give us one of those options here, just so that we can see that as an example. Yeah, so like this power up. So there's a bit of fun games in between, and it gives a few different options. like double your points or triple your points, and then the students have to activate it down here. You know, then it's applied to that game. So the students just run through the game like this, and so this is the last question. No, sorry, this is the last question. So the difference with this game as well, it lets students reattempt questions that they've got wrong, but in an interesting way, where they have to choose something, and then they get the chance to sit a question they got wrong again. So you can see there the memes in between the questions. You can also skip that in the settings page as well. So here the teachers have a chance to, or sorry, the students have a chance to review what their answers were in the quiz at the end. They also have a chance to study flashcards. So there's further revision that they can do after the test, which is an extra feature that isn't on Kahoot. And the students also have a chance to share in another section. So that's how it looks there. So this is to join a quiz, but I want to show you how to host it in a different way. So that's hosting it through the web links here on Google Classroom. If you want to, let's say, start from the very beginning, starting with Google, hop into Quizizz, sorry. So we go looking for present simple again. We click that class, play live. There's the same option as, let's say, for example, Kahoot. You can play as a team, you can play as classic, and you can also set them as tests. With the test, it requires a login, so you can set up something a little bit more serious as well. The good thing about this software as well is that you can download the students' results at the end, and you can keep a record of it, both in the student file and on Google Classroom. So let's host the game, and this will be very similar to how it is delivered in a face-to-face class. So you can see that there's, you can see here there's a game code. So let's look at the student experience over here on the phone, and there is an app that students can download, and it's called Quizizz, and the app is available on Google Play and the App Store. The App Store. So click into there, and the students simply enter in that game code, very similar to Kahoot, 78222 join game. Students have to enter their name, as you know, and that will take them to the game screen page. So because I haven't started the game yet, the students will idle on this page, and it says waiting for game to be started. So once you start the game, that they'll start experiencing the game on their phone. Back here you can see when you're hosting, you can still share via Google Classroom when you do it this way as well. So, you know, if you've got students who don't have the luxury of having a computer or laptop, you can direct them here to the app where they can play directly. But if they do have a computer or laptop, you can then set it up as a quiz on your Google Classroom, and they will be able to access through there as well. So you can do that there, and it's automatically shared. And once you've got everybody participating and on board, and you can see the players that will be listed down here. You click start, and you can see this is the teacher's experience, and this is the student experience on the phone. So do you know the answer? No, I don't. So students click on the appropriate answer, and you can already see that the power up option is being given. So similar to the other example previously, the same options will come up on the phone. So so let's do this again. We'll just go through it so we can see the student experience. So this is just getting a bit blurry. Alright, so we'll go. So we'll just run through this so you can see how this works. So you can see there, as the students are completing the test, you can see how they're going and keep a track of what they're getting correct and what they're getting incorrect. So it's like you've got the master view here of everybody in the group, and then, you know, students are going through the motions individually. So as a teacher and as a host, you can track everybody's progress as they're playing. So you can actually check their progress in real time and see how they're playing in real time. And you don't necessarily need to see that they're playing. So that's definitely an advantage, where you can actually, even though we're on an online context, you can still track whether they're playing and whether they're progressing, and how they're going in each question. So, you know, and then over here you've got you know, a percentage of accuracy. So it's a very comprehensive kind of summary of the class as they're doing the test. So you can get a bit of an idea of how the class is doing generally at a certain in a certain point that you're kind of focusing on. So it shows, you know, what they've gotten incorrect, what they've gotten correct, and then again it sort of gives an option to reattempt, and then the student has another chance to reattempt. I would advise double checking, very similar to Kahoot. Double check the questions, as sometimes there are errors in the questions. Please go through that before delivering the quiz to them. So here it brings a page, it brings the students to a page where they can, it gives them the option to further review. So remind me to review in 24 hours, remind me at 6 p.m. tomorrow, and that you can also use that function if you like. So here you'll see very similar to earlier. When we played it in the browser version, it gives a summary for the student to see their progress. And you know, they've got 8 correct, 2 incorrect, how much time, what their streak was, gives them the percentage as well, gives them the option to share, and anything to do a bit of revision. You can set a reminder to do a bit of revision here. So here on the host page, you can also see you know, game highlights, class accuracy. So it gives you a summary and a report of how the students went during that quiz. Here it gives you a summary of their results with an overview. It gives you the results per question, and yeah, this is a different report, but I think that might be getting a bit too complicated. The interesting thing here is you have the option to email all parents. So if you do have any students that are under 18, you can send this to their guardian as just as an update of their progress. And another thing I want to point your attention to is here you can download results. So this is not an option given when you're taking the quiz, but when you're hosting the quiz, you have the option to download results. Once you download the results, you'll receive notification that there is a download, and it will download it as a Excel spreadsheet. So once you open this Excel spreadsheet, it'll bring up the quiz answers, questions in Excel format. So what you can do here is you can save this as, you know, the student's name, and you can pop it into their student file. So this is also this can be more of an informal assessment that you can do in the class time. And just remember that in an online context, keeping track of progress and assessment as much as we can is very necessary. And you know, being in an online context, there's a whole other dimension of you know, methodologies that we need to look into, ways of effectively tracking course progress. So this is another tool that we can use as a different type of assessment, not as a final assessment, but just to track how students are going weekly, and just in addition to what they're doing in the classroom. This is just an easy kind of supplement to their formal tests that they do every week. So this is another additional feature with this platform that isn't currently available on Kahoot. So having all of this in mind, I strongly advise moving away from Kahoot as students find it not an easy experience, especially if they're working just from a phone or a tablet, and especially if you are teaching from home. You will not have the luxury of being able to share the screen with Kahoot, and students at home being able to click between browsers to play along. This way is a very, very conducive way for students to play if they've got technical and logistical limitations in terms of what hardware they have. So please, for the online context, look into implementing Quizizz as classroom online quizzes, and integrating technology in a fun way in the classroom. Thank you very much for your attention, and hope you enjoy.